Welcome to our very first episode of our new series called Drive-Thru Interview. So we thought it'd be fun if we interviewed some people while we try out some of their favorite food. And this week's theme is getting to know you. Today we're going to be interviewing our very own Shinae, Zach, and Ella Key. So today I got Ella Key with me. Ella, today we ate what?
We had ice cream.
We're kind of laughing because this is like our third take and we ate all the ice cream. And it was pretty hot outside, so it melted. But anyway, so why are we eating ice cream, Elle?
Because it's my favorite. It's the key to my heart.
So we don't want to say that. It's not the key to her heart. Key to her heart.
And Jesus, but
Jesus.
Ice cream too.
Right. So how old were you when you started to attend AKMC, or now True Light Community Church? How old were you?
I was probably 4. It's around 3 or 4.
3 or 4 years old, and you are now how old?
17.
So your whole life, you've basically been coming to this church. And what are your earliest memories of the church?
All of the millions of retreats I've been on.
You have been on a million retreats. So we've been here for 14 years. That's 2 retreats a year. So how many retreats is that? 28?
28 retreats in total.
28 retreats, yep. And so what was your earliest memories about those then? The retreats?
Huddling over the iPad. All 5 of us kids huddling over one iPad watching movies because we weren't old enough to participate, so we were all like really young.
So does that mean we get like the worst parent of the year award? Because we just, for whole weekends you would just, no, but did you participate in worship?
Yeah, we did.
You did?
Or as much as our tiny brains could handle.
Okay, but you sang along and jumped around and, all right, so you're a pastor's kid. Generally, people think about pastors' kids and think a lot of them are kind of wayward, like they don't end up following Christ. In your experience, what has it been to be a PK?
A little bit of pressure to be like angel children.
Yeah. Do you think it's also your personality?
Like not being an angel child?
Or not caring about what other people think?
Yeah.
Okay, so what about music? Right now you participate in the worship team for the adult service and OLC, One Light Community. I know that some people probably want to know how you got started.
I've been singing pretty much my entire life, so.
People say that like on America's Got Talent and it means nothing.
And that's the story.
Wait, so you just sing your whole life?
I just sing all the time. I get home, I sing. You know, school bus, I sing. I drive, I sing.
So how did...
Even sometimes in class.
At school?
I just sing all the time, that's
okay,
it.
So how did you know that you were good?
I wasn't. I was probably very horrible.
Okay, so then when did you start to realize that you were any good?
I mostly sing just because it's fun. I enjoy it. So, I mean, I didn't really sing because I was good. If I did that, I would not sing.
So then why did you join the worship team if you didn't think that you were a good singer?
I think singing was for my own pleasure up until God told me that I needed to join the worship team.
Oh, so you kind of felt like it was like the Lord telling you this is the thing that you...
Yeah, I think it became more of
So would you not have joined?
I don't think so.
Wow. It just seems like it's such a big part of your life.
Yeah.
And so, okay, what does at home look like then when you play music at home? Or practice?
I play piano. I play enough piano to accompany my voice.
And so you practice every day? Do you have like a regiment? Did you take lessons?
No.
So this is just at home, just being around music?
This is me just get home and just start singing at the top of my lungs. You know, it kind of migrated from shower to all the time. So.
Is there anybody that inspired you musically?
I mean, of course, having you in the house, you know, being a worship leader, playing guitar,
Thanks.
Singing us to sleep, things like that.
I used to sing you guys to sleep? Oh, I used to play music.
He used to sit in front of my door, blocking the door so I couldn't leave, and he would play music so I would fall asleep.
I'd be like, Jesus, please let her fall asleep.
I think you lost your parent award with the retreat, but I think you gained it back with that.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah. Another person was Sean.
What was your story with Sean? Why did Sean inspire you?
The first time she came to our church, I don't know if it was like an audition or something, but I heard her sing because she was going to be the worship leader. And the youth room was separated with these like barricade looking things. and so you couldn't see the other side if you were on one.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's just like a bunch of camera equipment and tables and chairs and whatever. And I was over there. I don't remember what I was doing, but Sean was on the other side, and it was a bunch of the worship team, and she started singing, and I was just like blown away, like jaw dropped. I was so astounded by her voice.
And so you wanted to sing like her?
Well, I was just like a new profound interest in the worship team after that.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, so this is how you like lead worship. This is how you, you know, it's just kind of like inspiration to. And it was a little bit after that when the Lord told me to join the worship team.
Okay, then let's jump to books then. Any books that have shaped your life?
One book I really loved was Waking the Dead.
John Eldridge.
John Eldridge, yeah. That one was like, every page was like, wow, the Lord is speaking to me. Yeah, so that one was really powerful. Francine Rivers, Mark of the Lion series.
Okay, so that's a 3-book series.
Yeah, it's a 3-book series, and it's a historical fiction, but it gave like a really strong like show of what the culture was in the New Testament of the Bible. So it like really helped me understand the Bible, like the New Testament section of the Bible, and really like dig in deeper to it and be more interested. Because I think a lot of people have a hard time kind of understanding why, you know, like the New Testament writers say things and stuff like that.
All right, here's a softball. Maybe not. Maybe it might be intense. How is it living in a house with so many people? You're an introvert, right?
I'm so introverted. It's bearable now.
No, it wasn't always, because our house in
We used to live in
South
a
Carolina.
single wide trailer.
A single wide trailer, that's right.
One bathroom only. There was one bathroom.
For how many people? 7?
7 people. 8 people, including Fish.
Oh yeah.
Don Curry, he used to live with us for a little while. He was a student.
Well, he didn't live with us in the Oh, he did live with us in the trailer for a
Yeah.
couple minutes.
And in the house before that, still one bathroom. All 5 kids lived in the same room. 2 bunk beds and a little tiny bed that slid, like a mattress that slid underneath. I was dying. I used to have a curtain that I would put around because I was on the top of one of the bunk beds. I put a curtain around the top so I could have some alone time because that was the best space I could get.
Wow, it makes so
Yeah.
much sense why you are the way you are now. How you
Having
just
my
need to
own
be
room
alone.
is just amazing.
So, last fall, you shaved your head. Why?
Why not?
Wow.
I don't know, I had wanted to do it for a long time. I had 4 feet of hair. It went all the way down to like mid-thigh, maybe a little longer than that. I wanted to play sports. I've always like been really interested in athletics. And so having long hair was kind of like a crutch with that. It was a little bit harder to be able to go my full capacity with sports.
So
I wanted to try something new.
You shaved your head and joined the wrestling team.
Yeah, I just kind of made a plan. I was like, okay, this year I am going from homeschool to Lakeside. I'm going to shave my head and I'm going to join the wrestling team.
All right, what was it like being on the wrestling team? Well, why did you wrestle?
I don't remember.
This is the second year in all of Georgia in which high school girls had their own team. Prior to that, girls were wrestling guys, which was just crazy. Didn't make any sense. But you joined the wrestling team, and what was the experience like for you?
I knew that it was going to be hard. I had done jiu-jitsu for many years when I was a kid. So I knew how hard martial arts in general were. And of course joining pretty much an all-boys team.
Yeah, there was like 2 other
bit.
girls. Yeah.
Yeah. We had persuaded the girls to
Right.
join because there was no girls. Yeah, it was tough. I was determined to be one of the best though. I think that's what.
So how did it end up? Sectionals you won.
Yeah, so there's 3 different competitions: area, sectionals, and state. The girls' state competitions, or the girls' official competitions, aren't big enough to they don't have enough members to actually do area. So you go straight to sectionals while the boys go to area, and then
they have to win in each one to keep
So, sectionals was my first big competition. We did small competitions where we compete against a couple schools. There were so many girls in my category.
Right.
I think they
Actually,
had to split
your
the
sectionals
category.
was 4A schools and 6A schools.
Yeah, so those are the 2 biggest regions in all of Georgia.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And you won first place.
Yeah, that was a wild ride.
Right. That was
After every
it was
single wrestling
emotional.
match, I cried.
Right.
It was so much pressure.
And then at state, you placed what?
I placed 5th in state. Top 6 are placers.
Right. And you're planning on doing it next year?
Hopefully, I mean, if coronavirus allows it, then.
Last question. What made you more serious about your faith?
Probably my experience. My experiences in public school.
What?
So, my pathway. I don't remember what book that is. It might just be called Sacred Pathway.
Sacred Pathways.
According to that book, there's a couple different pathways on how you
Feel
connect with God.
Right?
Yeah, it's almost like personality types. And I learned that one of my pathways was activism. So I feel the most alive and on fire for God when I'm telling people about Jesus and debating people and just having a show for my faith. You know what I mean? Just being confident in what I believe. And so in middle school, I did not have good friends. They were all atheist, the majority of them. I had one friend who was not atheist. And so every single day at lunch, we would sit down and we'd debate. And that was the strongest. I was like, I'm a Christian, you know what I mean? That's how it started in middle school.
Oh my gosh. All right, last segment. We're ending with the rapid fire questions. So you don't know what these questions are. I'm going to ask them really quick. I'm going to give you 5 and you got to answer them as quick as you can. What's your favorite thing in your closet right now?
My overalls, the ones I'm wearing.
Okay. Describe yourself as a teenager in 3 words.
In 3 words, bold. As a teenager. I don't know.
Bold?
I would say bold.
Okay. Bold. Bold, bald. Just kidding. You're not bald anymore.
Athletic.
Okay.
Go-getter is not one word, but
okay.
We'll put a little dash
aggressive.
in the middle. That's mean.
All right, what's your biggest pet peeve?
Uncleanly people.
Oh. What's the best compliment you've ever received?
Probably they liked my hair when I was bald.
What was your worst subject in school?
History, always.
Oh, wow, you knew that one. Well, Ella, thank you so much for interviewing with us, and we hope to see you again. You're my daughter, so I'll see you all the time. But anyway, thank you so much for being with us, and that's it for Drive-Thru Interview. How many minutes, Shinae?
I just kept keeping on in my stride.
Hey, Shins, this is crooked. Is that okay? It's like this. I'm with Zach today.
Hey
and Zach,
guys,
where did
how's
we
it
get
going?
Food? Where did we get food today?
So we got food at Hello Poke, and basically deconstructed sushi.
Yeah.
And I love sashimi, and sashimi is way better when it's in cubes and you can actually bite on it. So.
Right. All right. So I got the salmon. This is the samurai bowl. It has salmon in it. Edamame,
Oh yeah.
cucumbers, avocado, and fish eggs. What'd you get,
I
Zach?
got spicy tuna, and I always get half sushi rice and half udon to keep it interesting.
There's udon in yours?
Yeah.
Man, I didn't even know that was an option. All right, so I think probably what people want to know the most, or what's interesting, is how you started to come to OLC.
How I got here.
One Light Community.
All right, that's
How you got here.
a long story.
Really?
But yeah, no, totally. It's definitely a long story, but it all starts with Will, I gotta say. And him and I didn't really get to know each other until sophomore year of college. And
Wait, what year are you, by the way, now?
I'm going into my senior year.
Oh, okay, so 2 years ago.
So yeah, I mean, I had heard his name a little bit from different people when I was in high school, and my drum major partner thought he was cute. She was like, "Oh my God, Will Doig, he's so hot." I was like, all right, okay, Will Doik. I don't know this dude, but he's probably cool, I guess.
And you graduated from Evans.
Evans, yeah.
And Will went to Lakeside.
He did.
Wow, so Will made waves over in Evans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it wasn't until second semester of freshman year of college. I had communications class with him. And in that class we had to give a bunch of speeches.
Uh-huh.
And whenever Will would go up, he would talk about some pretty controversial stuff. And like,
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And every time he would speak, I would be like, wow, this dude's so smart. And he's like well-spoken and very articulate. I was like, dang, I really want to be this dude's friend. Because he would talk about stuff like being politically correct in today's society. And he talked about abortion.
Uh-huh.
And I was like,
so
whoa,
he
dude, you got some guts.
Yeah.
And like, he had pretty much the same stances as I do. And I was like, this dude's pretty cool. There was this one day that I remember, they were talking about, I don't know, this dude was giving a speech about shoes and like catering like brands to old people.
Okay.
And then like just under my breath, I muttered, Asics. And then I heard a giggle from the back and I looked over and then we like made eye contact and we just started laughing nonstop.
Wow.
And there was still 15 minutes of class. By the end of class, we were still laughing. We couldn't get it out. And like, I think that was when we knew like we were gonna be friends. But I think what eventually brought me here is another story.
Uh-huh.
Around the end of high school, in my senior year, I started a relationship with this girl. And it was going good for a while, and it turned really sour. And things just got really unhealthy. And honestly, I'd say that I was probably a big part of the reason why that relationship was really bad.
Huh.
Going into college, I finally had Will as a friend, and I was able to talk to him whenever things would go bad and stuff. And he would always give me like the best advice. And he would always have the right things to say at the right moments. Whenever I was struggling in that relationship, he would always be there. And it got to a point in that relationship where things just built up and we never addressed any issues. And I just decided I couldn't do it anymore and we broke up. Well, a few months later, you know, I kind of missed her and I cared, and I think she did too. So we started trying to become friends again.
Uh-huh.
That was a big mistake. We talked for a while and we tried to hang out, and it just really wasn't working. And so fast forward to New Year's Eve of this last New Year's Eve, right?
Okay, before all the craziness started?
Yeah.
All the COVID?
I decided, I usually text people that I care about, Happy New Year, hope you have a great year. And I decided to send a text message to her. 2 hours later, I get a response, and she just completely blows up, like verbal vomit of like, oh, you're this terrible person. Oh, like, I never want to see you again. I don't, like, you know, I hate everything you did to me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And at that point, I felt awful because a lot of the things she was saying were true. I admit, like, I had a lot of problems and issues. And I was a really, really broken person. And honestly, I think God was the farthest, like, away from that relationship. This person that I invested like 2+ years of my life to is just gone, deleted from my life. And I was like, dang, I'm so broken, so messed up. And there's nothing I can do to really fix my issues. I've had them for a while. And it was at this time where I was like, gosh, whenever I'm feeling down, depressed, who do I talk to? Will. And so the next day I'm like, bro, I really need to talk. I just need to get my feelings out, and I just want to hear your opinion, your thoughts. And so we went to Starbucks and talked things out, and he gets me feeling better, right? Towards the end of the night, I'm just scrolling through Instagram, kind of on my phone, things are winding down, and I'm looking through stories on Instagram. And I come across Ella Beale's Instagram story, and it's this kind of like advertisement shout out being like, hey, there's this winter retreat that's going on. There's still a few extra slots. Let me know if you want to come. And I'm like, hey, Will, is this like true? Like, is this legit? And he was like, oh yeah, it's like tomorrow. And
dude,
like,
your facial expression right there was totally Will.
Yeah. Yeah. I can ask Howard if you can come. I'll text him like right now. And I was like, this is really impulsive. But then I thought to myself, this might just be exactly what I need right now in this point in my life. Because I was feeling like completely rock bottom, unfixable, so far away from God. So I called my mom up just to make sure it was okay. And you know, she was really reluctant because I am a cradle Catholic, and I come from a Catholic family, and it's something my mom especially really cares about.
Hold on, time out. You said cradle Catholic?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means basically right after I was born, they baptized me into the Catholic faith, and I've been
your
Catholic
whole life?
since. Yeah, whole life.
Right.
So, yeah, it's something she really cared about. So obviously she has always been kind of like reluctant to have me in other denominational like activities and stuff. But eventually I was just like, hey mom, I'm in this certain place in my life where I really need this. And I just need to be in this sort of setting to reset and remember what's really important. And at that point she was like, okay, you're an adult, fine, go do whatever.
Wow.
I'll be praying for you. The craziest thing that happened was when we got to worship that evening, because the song Canvas and Clay came on. And literally every single lyric that was spoken in that song, I felt like God was speaking to me, like directly. In that moment, I felt so validated, and I felt like I had a purpose again, and that yes, I can be fixed. I meant something.
So, your last name is Maraña?
Yes.
So tell us, like, your heritage, your family.
So both my parents are actually Filipino.
Nice.
And you know, Philippines has some Spanish heritage in there, so we got a lot of the Spaniard last names.
Right.
When my mom and dad immigrated to the United States, on their birth certificate, the little squiggly over the end,
yeah.
like,
that makes the nya sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It like ceased to exist, so now it's just Marana on official documents. But yeah, I'm full-blooded Filipino.
Also, okay, this is a kind of an ongoing joke with me, but every time I look at YouTube and see guys like, you know, Gabe Bondoc and guys like a girl, I don't know if anyone knows, but I used to watch Glee back in the day, and there was a Filipina girl, Sunshine, and
I remember.
Incredible singer. And so I was always like super jealous that like it seems like all the most talented musical people are Filipinos. And so Zach, you do music?
I do.
All right, so tell us. You were a drum major in high school.
I was.
But tell us about music and how you got there and what you did.
I think it started with my oldest brother. He had always played piano when I was growing up, so it was just something that my parents sort of pushed on me at an early age. So I started piano lessons when I was 4 years old.
Dang.
And I honestly didn't really like it. And I didn't want to practice, and I just wanted to play cool music, but at the age of 4, I wasn't really able to. So I hated it.
Which you're like playing classical?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I think it wasn't until middle school that I really started to come around. I think from elementary school to middle school, I started picking up a little more interest. And I started learning violin when I was 7, and then I picked up guitar as well when I was around 9. And then I got to middle school, wanted to join band. And I started playing saxophone because all my brothers played saxophone before I did in middle school. So we already had a saxophone and it was convenient. In 8th grade, I picked up the bassoon. Do you know what a bassoon is?
Like the giant oboe?
Yeah.
It's a double reed, right?
Yeah, it's a double reed.
And it's giant.
Yeah.
And it's deep and it's infinitely hard to play, right?
I like to describe it as a wind cello.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe the sound, in my opinion. Funny story about that, the reason why I started playing bassoon was we were preparing for like our yearly performance evaluation where the band goes and gets graded by a judge.
Right.
And we were missing a bass clarinet player. And so my teacher was like, hey, does anyone want to switch to bass clarinet? And I was like, I was so tired of saxophone because the music was like easy and I was bored and I wanted to learn a new instrument. I was like, hey, sign me up. I want to learn just whatever, a new instrument. And she was like, wait, how about you try bassoon? And I was like, what's that? And then like I started playing and like falling in love with it, and it it's a really cool instrument and it's unique. So
Wait, so I heard that you're minoring in bassoon?
I am.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing that you can even do that.
Right.
So now that you're a part of our community, how are you connecting during coronavirus? Like, what are you doing to connect with people? Or
Okay.
say connect
So
with people?
it started out with Minecraft. I would play Minecraft with Sam Lee, Max, Jenna. I think Grace would come on sometimes. Hyunjae. I'm forgetting somebody. Robin too. Josh. And we would all play Minecraft, and it would be like living in a new world. Like, we would be able to go outside without actually going outside. It felt great. We
For
started
real?
our own
like
farm.
That's what it was really like.
Yeah.
I heard
that's really what it felt like.
I heard that you guys like built a church or something like that, and then
Okay,
Josh
I wasn't
wrecked
part
it.
of that.
Oh,
I
okay, I,
stopped
heard that
playing
Josh
with-
Ha wrecked it. We'll talk to him about that.
Oh yeah.
All right, last question, and this is a little bit deeper. So, you're a cradle Catholic, which I never heard that term before until today, but it's pretty
got you.
cool. But you're going to a Catholic church, and then you're attending our services, our OLC services whenever you can. How has those two together affected your spiritual life? Like how do they kind of help each other, or what have you learned? Or
When I was growing up in the Catholic faith, there was always this disconnect, and I never felt really an emotional connection to God. Like, obviously I believed in him and I wanted to be a good Christian, but especially like the community I was around, everybody just seemed so like complacent, just about it. And I never felt like I could really connect with anybody at church. I was also shy. I didn't really fit in, so
you were shy?
I was so shy.
Wow.
I'm still shy now sometimes, but like, you know, I've gotten better.
Yeah.
I think as I grew older, I started realizing the importance of making Christ like a big part of my life. And that's when I met Will, actually. And like, because of those speeches and hearing him for the first time just talk about like his faith through his like beliefs and stuff, I saw that you could be a Christian without being, you know, like uptight and,
Yeah.
you know, I guess pretentious about it, for
Right.
lack of a better word. Obviously, with coming to this church and everything, and experiencing you guys in worship and everything, it really taught me how important that personal connection is with God. But I don't know if this is an experience unique to me, or if it's just at my church, or maybe it's like other Catholics experience this. Gosh, that first time when I experienced worship with you guys, it was like nothing I've ever experienced before. Because everybody, like these people that I thought were cool, and like my friends and stuff, were all there and just like right up here worshiping God, and everybody was there for one purpose.
Right.
And everybody was singing together. The music was fantastic. And y'all's worship band is incredible. The biggest thing I took away from coming to this community and immersing myself in it is just that I was missing a lot.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for the Catholic faith, and I do think it's legitimate, but for me personally, it felt like there was a lot missing. And I think coming here has taught me how to really pursue God on my own, and really seek him and just listen to what he's trying to say to me. I think a typical thing that Catholics are known for is reciting prayers. Like, we have consistent prayers that we recite. And it gets to a point where I know for a lot of people, it just becomes like a ritual. Like, you're just saying words just to say them. And I think especially after coming to this community, whenever I go to a Catholic service, I'm trying to actively think about what I'm saying.
Oh, wow.
Some of the content of those prayers are fantastic.
Yeah.
I've really tried to make my faith my own ever since I've come here. And just being around like people just like me, ordinary people that are around my age, that are just really longing and yearning for Christ, has really helped me with that.
Thank you for sharing that, man. Well, this is our very first week, so we'll see how everything goes. But
Yes,
I really
sir.
appreciate you being vulnerable
Of course.
and sharing all that stuff, man. It's a blessing to me because, you know, like, I've been doing this for a long time, And like for me, like sometimes you do like the retreat thing, and you have the service every week, and sometimes you feel like you're kind of going through the motions, kind of like what you were saying with maybe how people might feel when they're reciting liturgy. And whenever I talk to real people and like the things that God has shown them, it's like such an encouragement to me too, you know, that we're not just spinning our wheels, that we're part of something that's dynamic and real, and
Definitely.
that, you know, that can change hearts, especially when you're talking about like COVID-19 now and our online services and what that means, you know, I mean, like if that's really effective, and so you're just hoping that there's real people out there that, you know, responding. So I really appreciate you being vulnerable and
Most
sharing all
definitely.
that. But,
Happy to talk about it.
thanks, Zach. That's it for our interview with Zach, and yeah.
See you later.
Today we are interviewing our very own Shinae Lee. Fun fact, what I just said is that my Siri doesn't know Shinae Lee, so I have to say Shinch Lee, and then it calls. Isn't that funny? I just thought it was funny. I just wanted to... Okay, anyway, so Shinch Lee, what are we eating today?
Today we're eating my favorite place. Well, let's say drinking my favorite place.
Oh.
If you don't know me, sorry about it, but if you know me, you know I'm always carrying around a Dunkin'.
What?
They have new drinks out right now.
Yeah, what is that?
It's a refresher, strawberry dragon fruit, I believe.
Dragon fruit? That's not a real fruit.
Usually I drink coffee, but I already drank my coffee this morning, so.
And what is Howard
this is what
drinking?
I get.
And what is my order, Shinch Lee?
He always gets a cold brew with cream and liquid cane sugar.
Liquid sugar. That's the
Yeah.
key. Because you don't want granules at the bottom of your beverage.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you a question. This might be a little bit offensive to somebody in your car.
Just me.
So how long have you been coming to OLC?
OLC formed after I started going to this church, so.
How long have you been coming to Augusta Korean Methodist Church, Augusta Korean American Methodist Church, aka Tree Light Community Church?
So my family moved here in 2002. I know some of you were born before, or I mean not before, after that.
Right, before the printing
So
press.
don't roast me, but yeah, that's when I moved here. I was in 7th grade.
All right, since you've been here the longest, since your dad, I don't know if this is a fun fact, Shina's dad planted this church in 1980, I should know this, 82.
I think so. I should know that too.
Oh, wait, no, this year is the 40th anniversary. So 1980.
Oh, 1980. Well,
Yeah.
technically, like some other pastors like started it. And then 3 months later, my dad came because he had to go back to Korea, and then he never came back. So, I guess my dad planted it.
Since you're the one that knows the best, because you've been here even before moi, which I've been here for 14 years, what were the early days of our church? What were they like?
We didn't have this building that's behind the church for sure, and our church was only like one strip. So the side piece that we have, that side wing, was not there. That's newly built, or nearly built. And none of the
To you, newly
yeah,
built.
Okay, fine. Sorry.
But the church was in a trailer at first, right?
Yeah, it was a trailer. I wasn't there for those days, so can you stop
you were a
dating
wee
me right
little,
now?
wee little ass.
Like you're
time.
making me feel old.
Right. But the Family Life Center, the big gym, that was built like in 2005, I think.
Yeah.
So that was built 1 year before I arrived in 2006.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, fun fact.
Interesting.
What
I
were the
didn't know that.
days of OLC like? I'm not talking about OLC, but our student ministry. What was it like in the early days for those that weren't around?
You know that Bible story, Sodom and Gomorrah? I'm just kidding.
You made Josiah laugh on that one.
I think having a good leader definitely helps a lot.
Yeah.
Back then, we were kind of just like getting pastors that wanted to move up to like the pastor, like being actual pastor. So
Like they were like were they 전도사님s?
they were like
pastors in
전도사님s training to become 목사님s, which is a pastor.
Ordained pastor.
Yeah. And so like you could tell like the heart was like slightly there, but not to the extent that we've had like recent pastors.
Right.
Wink, you know.
I can't even wink right. Do you think the kids noticed?
I think so. I think we could tell. I think kids are smarter than people.
Give him credit.
Yeah, give them credit for, which is kind of sad.
Yeah. So I asked Ella this because she's a PK, Ella Key.
Mm-hmm.
What's the hardest thing about being a PK in your opinion? Pastor's kid, just in case you don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm a former pastor's kid. My
Your
dad
dad's
retired.
still a pastor.
My dad retired. But I think the hardest thing, I think for me personally, I can't say that for all PKs, but I mean, I've heard around that this is a pretty difficult thing, is having to share your dad with people. And it feels like it's more like the congregation is getting more attention than you are. So I think for me personally, that was probably the hardest thing.
So how did you grow into having a deep faith when so many PKs, like, you know, the stereotypical PKs, like wild and crazy? How'd you grow into having a deep faith when so many PKs rejected God?
I think I was wild in my own sense. Like I rebelled in my own ways. I know like a lot of people have that assumption of like, you know, they go out and party and like go crazy, do drugs, like that kind of stuff. But there are ways to do that, like not to that extent, but like there are ways to rebel in different times, different ways, you know.
So you're saying you had your rebellious streak?
Yeah, I'm the type of person to like, if I experience something or if someone else experiences something, it becomes like a lesson for me. When I was going through like my rebellious phase or whatever, I just realized that was like, I hated it. Like there was no purpose to my life. I was like just trying to get by on absolutely nothing. And that's where I was like, I need something. There's like a deep hole in my heart that like nothing else can fill. And I had recently got back from Korea.
Oh, Korea.
Yeah, and so like of course I had to come back to church because my parents, you know, they work there or something. Yeah, and I just like, I think that's around the time where you had just become like our 전도사님, or like the youth pastor, and I started teaching the children. That's when I got into children's ministry.
Oh yeah, you
For
did
the
it with
first
like
time.
Kat
Yes.
and Grace and Hitek.
And I like taking on that responsibility. I think seeing young minds and how I'm shaping them, I was like, shoot, I need to know like the word and stuff. Like why am I teaching it when I don't even know it in the first place? I think that's where it started.
So let's talk about your college career.
Oof.
Most people don't know that you majored in music. Bum bum bum. What was that? What was that all about? What? Tell us.
Oof.
This has been a theme. Every interview I've done has talked about music. I don't know why, but go ahead.
Oh. Okay. So I graduated high school and I was like, crap.
Wait, where did you graduate from?
I graduated from Evans. Go Knights.
Ooh, I'm just kidding. I love
Wow.
Evans. Evan Knights all the way.
Anyways, I had recently graduated from high school and I was like, I don't know what to do with my life. I don't have like a clear purpose or like a clear career choice that I wanted.
Right. Like many
unlike a lot of people, everyone around me was like, I want to be a doctor. I want to be blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, your generation was the worst.
Yes.
Everyone knew.
Oh my gosh. And I was like, I don't know what to do with my life. And so like the only thing that I knew that was good or I was okay at was music. Side note, I used to be the praise team leader.
Boom. Fun fact. Shinae was on the
Anyways.
worship team. Bring her back.
No.
Ring.
Anyways, so I just picked music. And then when I got into it, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
What's
like,
the program called?
I was a music major and I had to pick music education because I like didn't know what else to do. I didn't know what the options were, and I honestly like didn't read up much about the music program. So I was like, ooh. I majored in it for like 2 years, and I was struggling because I have immense stage fright.
Well, music performance was one of the things you had to do, right?
Yes. And I had to take all these classes that I didn't get credit for. Like, what? It's not okay. That's when I realized that that was not the path for me.
When you decided to leave college, this is a common thing that I hear all the time. It's that I think the general feel of most kids nowadays is that you have to go to college.
Yeah.
Which we know is not true. The older you get, the more you realize, oh, I didn't have to follow the traditional route of what everybody says of going to college.
Yeah.
So you decide to leave college. What would you tell young people trying to figure out if college is for them or not?
If you know what you want to do, like, go for it. But if you don't know what you want to do, like, there are other options. I actually asked my parents right after I graduated high school if I could take a gap year. And they said, heck no. They said it a little bit more kindly. Because my dad says...
They said it in Korean.
Like, pray about it. Pray about it. You don't have to go, like, the traditional 4-year college. You can always get, like, a skill or a trade and get a degree in that. Yeah. Like, I think those are more valuable, even in the long run. Like, learning how to plumb, oh my God, you could save so much money. Like, being a
college is
carpenter.
expensive.
Yeah. I like all these skills that you can, like, earn certificates in.
How'd you get on staff?
How
A
did
lot
I
of
get
people
on
want to know.
staff? That's weird. Okay, so this is my version of the story. I don't know if yours is a little different.
Okay.
But I was doing children's ministry at first, and then Howard comes up to me and says, hey, like, what do you think about joining staff? Like, youth staff. And I was like, youth? I don't know. And then I just, like, ran all of these scenarios in my head of, like, all the kids that were in youth back then. And I was like, I don't think this is for me. But I was like, maybe, like, I don't know, like, I don't know where this is going, as in children's ministry. So I was like, maybe I could give it a shot. But I was very hesitant. Leading is not my strong suit. That's why I'm an admin right now. But, like, it was very nerve-wracking, especially being, like, I think I was, like, 23 or some-ish, something like that at the time.
So,
And
like,
I was
last year.
Yeah.
Right.
No big deal. Howard was, like, pestering me about being on staff.
No big deal.
So I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Plus, like, Jane was on it. Christina was on it. TK was on it. Minuk was on it. I think that's everybody.
The OGs.
Yeah. And so I was like, yeah, these are, like, my friends. I can, like, hang out with my friends and, like, get stuff done.
It's a great reason to come on staff.
No big deal.
Like, we tried a lot of different leadership styles.
Yeah.
But then this one stuck. But it's been, like, how many years have you been on staff now?
I have 2013, 7 years, something like that.
7 years.
6 or 7 years. Man, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
I haven't seen a year go by where I haven't seen a kid grow in faith. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah. Seeing kids grow in faith and then leaving to go to different ministries and then...
Like them leaving the students,
Yeah, them
growing and
leaving the
serving
like,
in other ministries. Yeah.
Them leaving OLC and serving in other places. That's the best. Like seeing Kyung in Austin.
I know, Kyung.
Oh my God.
I know he's going to be so mad. But he might not even watch this video.
Who knows?
All right, this is the rapid fire question segment of the show.
Oh, shoot.
I'm going to ask you 5 questions really quickly,
Uh-huh.
and you got to answer as quickly as you can, so you can't sit and wait on it. No pondering, no chin
I'm a
scratching.
thinker.
Okay? All right.
Here we go.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Hurry up.
Hurry up.
Yeah. I'm a thinker, man.
Oh,
It takes
okay.
me
I
a
see
while.
what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like make
Oh,
a
God.
decision.
Yeah.
Be bold. Take it.
Yeah.
If your house was on fire, what 2 things would you run back in to get?
My cat and my cell phone. Maybe Sean, but I'll just wake her up. She can get
Maybe
her own
Sean.
things.
She's an adult. What is something you wish you could be good at?
Ooh. So many things. But my one, like, thing that I really wish I was good at was car things, like being mechanic-y.
How do you manage stress?
I don't.
You just let it sweep you away. You just are stressed out all the time.
Yeah, that's why I have all these gray hairs.
All right, last question. Name one thing you've learned the hard way.
Oh. Forgiveness.
Ah.
Yeah.
By like kind of living out unforgiveness.
Yeah.
And then knowing that that's something you had to you had to do. You had to
Yeah.
learn how to forgive.
I think that's like the biggest thing in my life, like not forgiving people, holding on to grudges,
Oh yeah.
and especially not telling them either,
Uh-huh.
because that's the biggest part of forgiving somebody is letting them know what you're angry at them about, because they probably don't know.
Right, dealing with it. That's
Sorry,
good.
everybody.
Thank you, the wise and magnificent Shinae Lee. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being interviewed. Kind of had to. You really had no choice. But thank you anyway, OG. That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed all of the interviews. Hope you learned something new about our community and our people. So, yep, I will see you hopefully next week. We'll see how this goes.